Hey, Pete here for Studio Live today, and in this video I'll be doing something quite different and a little bit outside of my comfort zone, so come along for the ride. What I'm doing is I've got a handheld condenser microphone here. Down there I have my iPhone set up through my interface, and I am about to record vocals on a song that I've written in January. And this is a departure from my usual style. Gone are the acoustic guitars and the live instruments, and instead we've got samples, loops, and Alchemy synth, and all sorts of different tracks in here. So what I'll be doing now is laying down the lead vocal and probably some background vocals and taking you through the whole process, taking this from an instrumental mix as it stands now to my final mix, including my vocals. So let's go. Okay, so down here I have my Steinberg UR12 interface. So this is a USB interface. It's powered by this battery pack. It's using a Lightning to USB adapter to plug into my iPhone 6s Plus here. If you've got questions about this setup, I've got a separate video which you can check out that will show you how I set up my mobile recording rig. And as I mentioned in the intro, what I'm doing today is actually recording vocals. So this microphone here is just recording my voice for this video, but I've actually got this one, the AE3300, which is a handheld condenser microphone, and that is plugged in through the interface down here. And this is what I'll be attempting to record these vocals on. So this song is a song called Lucky. I've recorded all of the instrumental tracks, and we have quite a few of them here. So we have a lot of loops, we have a lot of synth sounds and other sounds in GarageBand, and there's not a single live instrument to be seen. So as I mentioned in the intro, outside of my comfort zone here, and what I'm going to be doing now is actually, I've written the vocals, they're sitting here on my phone, and I'm going to try and record these vocals right now. I'm going to do a complete take and see how we go, and then we'll come back and we'll do whatever we need to do as we go along. So we may need to do overdubs. I haven't even really worked out if there'll be background vocal parts or how I'm actually going to split it up, any harmony parts. So this will be an end-to-end vocal recording session, and I'm going to keep the camera rolling. I'll edit out some of the more boring parts, don't worry, it's not going to be a 2-hour video, but I wanted to capture the end-to-end recording process for vocals here today. So without further ado, let's jump in and record our first take of this vocal. So let's find our vocal track here in GarageBand. We have a couple of them here. This is set to the punchy presence, and we've got the blank track there ready to go. So if I tap on the microphone icon up here we are in our mic. So what I tend to do when I'm tracking vocals is I'll put the compressor up a little bit, which is going to give me a little bit more punch through, and I'll sort of flatten out these EQ, and I've got a little bit of ambience there, and I also like a little bit of delay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to the audio that's actually coming through here. So you can see I've got the monitoring on in the audio, so we'll jump over to the iPhone's audio and what's outputting out of the Steinberg interface here, so you can hear what that sounds like. And this is what we have. Okay, that's a little bit too much on the compressor. We're going to back that off a little bit. So you can hear we've got that little bit of delay, that little bit of ambience coming through there. In terms of my levels, you can see they're quite low here at the moment, but when I start singing, I'm lucky to be flying today, it probably is even needing a little bit more there. We'll just turn up on the interface. I'm lucky. Yeah, see, we're clipping too much. We need to turn that down. I'm lucky. Still too much. I'm lucky to be flying today. That's about right. So we want it hitting between about 50% and 75%. We can use our gain, we can use compression, we can turn the volume up. What we can't do is fix it if it's clipped. I know I say that in every video, but trust me, the last thing you want to do is to have a really spiky audio sound that clips. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking through here because it's not sounding great for spoken word, but hopefully it will sound okay for the playback of the vocals as I record this take. Let's jump in. 4 a.m. alarm, turn off quickly. Taxi arrives, do not toot. The kids are still asleep. Well, maybe I am too. Skip the coffee, try to sleep on the plane today. Check my bag, have I packed everything I'll need? Aisle seat, cause that's my preference. It keeps me separate from the people carrying way too much in the overheads. Safety demonstration, hoping once again it won't be needed. It's a class structure on a tiny scale. Life will have its ups and downs, and sometimes I complain about the things that I will choose to do and who it is that I can blame. But when I see the other people cold and sleeping in the rain, I'm lucky to be flying today. Is when I land, it's time to plan my getaway. A big red bus will take me all the way, past some giant orange sticks. Coffee time at last, I make it last until I reach the comfort of my home, away from home. 2-hour meeting about that new thing that's impacting our sales generation capability, promoting synergy and shifting paradigms. It's stressing me and making me wish that it was nearly time to start my journey home. Life will make me feel that the expectations are unreal. Deadlines that I have to hit will make me feel that I'm unfit. But when I see the other people begging for my change to eat, I'm lucky to be flying today. Overdubbing will be our friend. Don't worry. Life will have its ups and downs, and sometimes I complain about the things that I will choose to do and who it is that I can blame. But when I see the other people cold and sleeping in the rain and wishing they could have my life even for a single day, struggling to just get by, asking for a reason why, I just walk past them every time. Hey buddy, have you got a dime? I look away as if I find it hard to realize I'm lucky to be flying today, flying today, flying today. Yes, I'm lucky to be flying at all. Okay, so clearly that wasn't an outstanding vocal take, but that's okay because first take is not always the take we're going to use, and you can hear that my voice is going to need some water before I do any more singing, or whatever you call that. So overall, I still need to work on getting the rhythm. As I said, this is not the sort of song I usually sing, so there's a lot of words in there, there's a lot of rhythm. I'm probably going to have to chunk this down and sing it in pieces, which is absolutely fine and a perfectly reasonable way to track vocals. But what I need to work on is, especially in that really long extended bit, I ran out of breath. I also missed some words and some timing in the second chorus part as it changes up some of the lyrics there. So there's a few things to work on here, but all is not lost. We will go in and have a listen and see what this sounds like, and then we'll start recording some additional vocals. Okay, let's go to our track view. And we can see our waveform here is looking about right. That's how we'll want this. In fact, let me zoom in because you don't really need to see the interface here for the rest of this video. I'm going to zoom in on the iPhone screen so that you can actually see what we're doing. Okay, that's a little bit better. So here is our vocal. Now let's just find a part and have a quick listen to see what this sounds like. Aisle seat, cause that's my preference. It keeps me separate from the people carrying way too much in the overheads. Okay, not too bad. The levels need some work. The actual instrumental track is quite bass heavy. I recorded this originally using earbuds, and that means I can tend to make the bass a little bit nuts. So there's some EQing to do there to remove that. Don't worry about that part for now. The vocal itself is sort of lacking a bit of cut through. Need to adjust the EQ settings that we have on that, as well as some of the reverb and compression. And I'm not convinced that the punchy presence is actually what I'm going to have on the vocals, but I find it the easiest to record to because it doesn't have much latency or significant delay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a drink of water, and then I'm going to try and do another part of the vocals, but I'm going to do it in chunks. Okay, so we're ready to go here. Now I have this other track here, which I'm going to, I'll mute my original vocal, and I'm going to shift over to this track. So I'm going to tap on there, turn on my monitoring on that track, and then go in to have a look at how this is set up. And check 1, 2. That's sounding okay. A little bit of, what have we got on this? Oh, we got some drive on this. That's cool. I think that's what I put on my original vocal. I'm going to try tracking with this on as it is at the moment. Let's do that now. We're going to do a run through of this first verse and chorus. 4 AM alarm, turn off quickly, taxi arrives, do not toot, the kids are still asleep. Life will have its ups and downs, and sometimes I complain about the things that I will choose to do, and who it is that I can blame. But when I see the other people cold and sleeping in the rain, I'm lucky to be flying today. Okay, that wasn't too bad. So what we'll do now, we'll go back to our track view, and we will have a time to have a breath and a drink, and then we will jump into the second verse and record that one. You might notice that my mic technique here is I'm deliberately not talking straight into the mics because I want to try and avoid popping my P's and having those sibilant S sounds. So I'm just sort of talking through the side of the mic a little bit. So because I'm not using a pop filter, this does have its built-in filter there, but we want to try and avoid any of those big loud plosives. Anyway, let's cue up to near where we are here. There should do us. So we're not going to sing this sort of intermittent chorus bit here, but I'm going to jump back in and sing the second verse. Let's go. 8 AM is when I land, it's time to plan my getaway. A big red bus will take me all the way, past some giant orange sticks. Coffee time at last, I make it last until I reach the comfort of my home, away from home. 2-hour meeting about that new thing that's impacting our sales generation capability, promoting synergy and shifting paradigms. It's stressing me and making me wish that it was nearly time to start my journey home. Okay, I didn't breathe well in that take, so I'm going to undo and try that one again with a bit better breathing. The problem is when you first write a track is you often don't really know where the breaths are going to come, and you can tend to go too far and run out of breath. So I'm going to try this again and just see if I can find better places to do my breathing. Let's go. Life will have its ups and downs, and then you sing the wrong lyrics. Okay, let's keep that one for now, and find the section where we need to get back into the chorus. So, journey home. So just there where we start saying life. Oh, I just moved a whole bunch of stuff around. Undo is your friend. It always is. All right. It's a lot easier to do when you're not leaning over and trying to video everything, I'm sure. All right, so we're going to go to here. We're going to split that out. Get rid of that old audio tap. Deleted. All right, we're good. La 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 la. Okay. Life will often make me feel that expectations are unreal, and deadlines that I have to hit will make me think that I'm unfit. But when I see the other people begging for my change to eat, I'm lucky to be flying. Yes, life will have its ups and downs, and sometimes I complain about the things that I will choose to do, and who it is that I can blame. But when I see the other people cold and sleeping in the rain, and wishing they could have my life, even for a single day, struggling to just get by, asking for a reason why, I just walk past them every time. Hey buddy, can you spare a dime? I look away as if I find it just too hard to realise I'm lucky to be flying today. Flying today. Oh, we were doing so well, and then we hit that last line and we ran out of breath. So this could be an interesting one to see how we record this, because yeah, it's just a lot in a row, but I don't want to chop it because it's not going to sound supernatural. So what we might have to do is try an entire take again, even though I was quite happy with the start of that take. We're going to get rid of that. I know. Sometimes it is honestly easier to just retake a section than to try and cut in, and then you spend half an hour editing to try and put two parts together and make them sound natural. And yeah, I know some of that was good and I wish I could have kept it, but it's gone now. We're going to record over it. Yes, life will have its ups and downs, and sometimes I complain about the things that I will choose to do, and who it is that I can blame. But when I see the other people cold and sleeping in the rain, and wishing they could have my life, even for a... Okay. I'll have to check with my manager. Okay. So let's get past those puberty blues that we just had there, where our voice broke halfway through that section, and we'll undo again and try again. And wishing they could have my life, even... I'm going to make an edit here in the sake of time. I could try this 100 times and maybe not hit that note, or I could, change the note. So I'm going to change the note in the hope that I can actually get this take recorded at some stage today. All right, let's go. The rain, wishing they could have my life, even for a single day, struggling to just get by, asking for a reason why, I just walk past them every time. Hey buddy, can you spare a dime? I guess I'm lucky to be flying at all. So that did the trick. I'm going to listen back to that vocal that I did in the chunks now, all the way through. I may or may not make you listen to it as well, but I just want to hear how that's all going to sound in the mix. It obviously doesn't have the chorus section, which you'll hear in a minute when I overdub that, but at the moment we've got most of that lead vocal recorded, and I'm not unhappy with how it sounds. What I might do is, while I'm here, I'm going to turn some of these bass sounds down a bit, because they're definitely too full on in the mix. So this bass here, we're going to drop by a few dB, and then we have a kick drum over here, which we are going to drop down a little bit. And where is we had a big sub bass here. The order of these tracks is really bad because I've been just working on this through the week, and I've been throwing tracks wherever I felt like at the time. But there it is. There's a hip hop sub bass. Oh, okay. This is why it's sounding so full on, because what I did is originally, that was when I was recording it. So I was recording it on my keyboard before, and I turned it up so I could hear the notes I was playing, and then I didn't turn it back down. So that's why I've been so heavy and bassy all this time. So that should be around about there. This is probably going to sound a bit better now. So I've still muted that first take of the vocal I did where I wasn't particularly happy with it. What we may want to do is bring some of those components in as a double vocal. We'll talk about that in a minute. But for now, I'm going to play this track all the way through just with that recorded vocal, and we'll see it as we go along. That bass is definitely sounding a lot better. 4 a.m. alarm, turn off quickly, taxi arrives, do not toot, the kids are still asleep, well maybe I am too, to be flying posting about that new thing that's impacting our sales generation capability, promoting synergy and shifting paradigms is stressing me and making me wish that it was nearly time to start my journey home. Okay, I'm actually not unhappy. I should actually say that differently. I'm actually happy with that result. There's obviously a few things I need to tweak. First of all, I'm going to add in the chorus section because you'll hear that there's a big blank bit there where I should... I'll stop that for now. There's a big blank section there where there needs to be some additional vocals, which I'm going to add in now. And then I'm going to ponder. I'm still not happy with that last section. It's too breathy and disjointed. I missed that I had that different note in there. I think it really adds to it. So I'll do this chorus section, which is going to be a little bit easier, and then I'm going to come back in and try that one again. And then I'm going to look at, do we need some sort of harmonies or backing vocals throughout this? So let's go and do that now. Thanks, motorbike. Thanks for riding past while I'm not recording. Okay, now because this is the vocal track I'm going to use, I'm going to duplicate so that I have exactly the same settings on this, because I want this to kind of sound like the lead vocal. The reason I didn't sing this part in the lead vocal part was that it kind of overlaps some of those verse sections, which you'll hear as I record in a moment. So let's jump in and do that now. Lucky to be flying today, flying today, flying today. Yes, I'm lucky to be flying today. 8 a.m. is when I land, it's time to plan my getaway. A big red bus will take me all the way. Flying today, flying today. Yes, I'm lucky to be flying today. Yes, life will have its ups and downs, and sometimes I complain about the things that so what I did there is I do that a lot when I'm recording a vocal sound like that, is I'll experiment with some other things, and they can be cut out afterwards, which most of them probably will be, but I was just experimenting with a few little vocal parts, a few little double parts that I might want to throw in there. But let's just listen back and see how the actual chorus part sits here with the original vocal in the mix. Who it is that I can blame, but when I see the other people cold and sleeping in the rain, I'm lucky to be flying today, flying today, flying today. Yes, I'm lucky to be flying today. 8 a.m. is when I land, it's time to plan my getaway. A big red bus will take me all the way. Not terrible, but I think because I was singing some sort of backing harmony stuff, I was singing too quietly, so it didn't have the same energy as the main performance. So I am actually going to delete all of that. Deleted. And I'm going to try and do these sections again. I'm going to just do those sections just so that I'm not mixing and matching what my energy levels might be like in this vocal. Okay, so we'll find where we need to be in here. We've got the right microphone, we've got the right vocal track set. We'll have some water. A funny aside, when I went to the US for the first time, in Australia we tend to say water, which is like how we say water. So I would say, can I get some water, please? A glass of water? And no one understood a word that I was saying. So what I had to do was actually say, can I have a glass of water? And as soon as I threw an American accent, albeit a bad one, I was able to get some water. So moral of the story is just order beer instead, because everyone can hear beer and know what you're saying. Let's go. Who it is that I can blame, but when I see the other people cold and sleeping in the rain, I'm lucky to be flying today, flying today, flying today. Yes, I'm lucky to be flying today. 8 a.m. is when I land. Okay, that was better because, yeah, I had the same sort of level of energy, and it's going to mean that the levels are going to match a lot better. You can already see in the waveform there that that does look like the case. Let's find our next chorus. What did I just do? I just undid that vocal, I reckon. I did. Okay, yeah, let's just call this a training session with how to redo a vocal. So, if I didn't undo by mistake, if I hold down... Oh, I've undone it again. I'm going to have to hold down on my undo button, and then we can redo, delete region, and then we need to get our recording back. We'll hold down on the undo, and we're going to redo recording. And there it is back again. We're going to record this second chorus section now. Let's do it. When I see the other people begging for my change to eat, I'm lucky to be flying today. Flying today. Sometimes I complain about the things that felt okay too. Let's have a look and a listen. I'm going to drag on that bit so I don't move anything this time. Let's tap and let's have a listen to this. Things that I will choose to do and who it is that I can blame. But when I see the other people cold and sleeping in the rain, I'm lucky to be flying today. Flying today. Flying today. Yes, I'm lucky to be flying today. 8 a.m. is when I land, it's time to plan my getaway. A big red bus will take me all the way. Okay, not too bad. If anything, I went too much energy that time, so I may just have to ride the volume, use some automation, and ride the volume when I do my final mix. So I'm reasonably happy with that now. What I'm going to do, as we mentioned before, is this last section here. I'm going to have another crack at it and just see if I can do a better job. No pressure or anything. And to do this, I'm going to grab this and duplicate again. Now, my naming conventions are all over the shop here. I'm not spending a lot of time cleaning up this track right now, so I'm not following my own advice and having really good labels on these tracks. Let's now try this last section of this vocal one more time. So we're going to turn on the monitoring. We're going to come to around about the section, and I'm just going to hit record, and let's just give it a go. I'm just going to try. Okay. Flying today. Flying today. Yes, I'm lucky to be flying today. Yes, life will have its ups and downs, and sometimes I complain about the things that I will choose to do and who it is that I can blame. But when I see the other people cold and sleeping in the rain and wishing they could have my life, even for a single day, struggling to just get by, yes, I'm lucky to be flying at all. I don't know. What do you reckon? Let's have a listen. Now, I realised I kept the original vocal on there as well, which wasn't what I was intending, but it's ended up being okay. And maybe this could even be somewhere where I'm going to use a double vocal of that anyway, but let's have a look and see. So we'll go to the end here. Was I not recording? Either I wasn't recording or I undid something somehow. Let's just check. Yeah, there's definitely no recording on that track. So, let this be a lesson to... Where was I recording? Oh, I was trying to record on that... No, I don't know. So, I deliberately did that to show you the importance of making sure that you select your track and that you record. Here we go. This one. Yep, it's like that. Take two. We'll hit the record button. We'll make sure that we see the red line going across, showing that it's recording this time. Day. Yes, I'm lucky to be flying today. Yes, life will have its ups and downs, and sometimes I complain about the things. Yes, I'm lucky to be flying at all. Okay, it definitely recorded. I saw it red. It was red. Okay, so what I will do here is I'm going to carefully drag this back like this, but leave just that bit of silence there. That way I could easily pull it back out again if I do want to go back to that original take. But let's listen from here. And what it's going to do is it's going to bounce from this track to this track to this track, but they're all going to be the same vocals. So we'll listen from about here and just hear how the end of this song comes together and if it's going to sound natural in the mix. Deadlines that I have to hit will make me think that I'm unfit, but when I see the other people begging for my change to eat, I'm lucky to be flying today. Flying today. Flying today. Yes, I'm lucky to be flying today. Yes, life will have its ups and downs, and sometimes I complain about the things that I will choose to do and who it is that I can blame. But when I see the other people cold and sleeping in the rain and wishing they could have my life even for a single day, struggling to just get by, asking for a reason why, I just walk past them every time. Hey buddy, can you spare a dime? I look away as if I find it just too hard to realize I'm lucky to be flying today. Flying today. Flying today. Yes, I'm lucky to be flying at all. Okay, so that is our vocal laid down. Now, as I've been laying this down, I've been thinking in my head about other backing vocals that we may need or other harmonies that we may need. I'm not convinced. I think this song is a bit of a raw kind of song. There's a lot going on in the harmonies with all of the different synth and loop sounds that we have in there. So I'm thinking that I'm going to keep it pretty much as that single vocal throughout. There's that little bit of crossover that you have there. So yeah, that's kind of going to be it for now. So apologies if you were waiting to hear me harmonize. That's definitely coming up in another video where I'm doing another song, which is an acoustic song that has a lot of layered harmonies. So don't worry if you're a big fan of me singing backing vocals or harmony vocals. You'll get that pretty soon. But for now, I'm going to take this away. I'm going to do some mixing and produce a final product of this song. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing me make mistakes, mistakes, sing like a teenager with my voice breaking, and were able to get also a few tips and ideas from this video about your own vocal recordings here in GarageBand. Thanks again, as always, for watching, and I will see you next time.